Hi everyone, let's do self-exercise 6.10. Question number 1, given that x more equals than 0 degree but less or equals than 360 degree, find all the values of x that satisfy each of the following equations. Okay, so we are going to find the value of x, meaning that the value of angles. Okay, question A, sine 2x equals to negative 0.4321. So by using this, add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4, we are going to find this. Okay, so sign negative in quadrant 3 and 4. Okay, so to find angles of 2x, we press calculator, inverse sine 0.4321. Okay, no need to press negative value. So we will get the basic angle is 25.60. Okay, 25.60 is acute angle, angles in quadrant 1. So just now we identify angles in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay, we know that equivalent acute angle in quadrant 3 is 180 plus theta, and in quadrant 4 360 minus theta. Okay, so we find angles in quadrant 2. Okay, so meaning that 180 plus 25.60, which is 205.60. In quadrant 4, 360 minus 25.60, 334.40. Okay, but this angle, two cycles. Okay, meaning that we have to add another 360 degree. So 360 plus 205.60 and 360 plus 334.40. Okay, so this one 205.60, 334.40. This one 560 and 694.40. Okay, so this one is 2x. Okay, 2x. So then to find the value of x, so all divide by 2. So which is 102.80, 167.20, 282.60, and 347.20. B, secant 2x plus 40 degree equals to 2. Okay, so we need to convert secant into cos. So cos 2x plus 40 equals to 2. So then cos 2x plus 40 equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Cos positive. Okay, cos positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Okay, so to find 2x, 2x plus 40 equals to inverse cos 1 over 2. Okay, which is equals to 60. Okay, 60 in quadrant 1. So in quadrant 4, just now we identify angles in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Now 60 in quadrant 1. To find angles in quadrant 4, equivalent acute angle is 360 minus theta. Okay, so 360 minus theta is 300. Okay, so then this one same. Okay, 2 cycles. So meaning that you have to add 360. So 360 plus 60 and 360 plus 300. Okay, so this one equals to 600, 300, 420, and 660. Okay, so then to find 2x, so all this you minus 4 over 2. Okay, so 2x equals to, minus 40. 60 minus 40, 20, 260, 380, and 620. Okay, to find the value of x, each you divide by 2. Okay, becomes 0 degree, 130 degree, 190 degree, and 310 degree. C, cotangent x over 3 equals to 0.44 2. Okay, cotangent is 1 over tangent. So tangent x over 3 equals to 0.4452. Okay, so then tangent x over 3 equals to 1 over 0.4452, which is 2.2462. Okay, so then add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Tangent, positive quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Okay, so tangent, inverse tangent. So inverse tangent 2.2462. Okay, which is equals to 66 degree. 66 degree angles in quadrant 1. To find angles in quadrant 3 is 180 plus theta, which is 180 plus 66 is 246 degree. Okay, so this is x over 3. To find x, all you times 3. Okay, so x equals to 198 and 738. Okay, so just now given x is from 0 to 360 degree. Okay, 738 is out of range. So lebih besar daripada 360. So then the final answer, you just take the value of x that more or equals than 0 but less or equals to 160, which is angles of 198 degree. D. 5 tangent x equals to 7 sine x. Okay, tangent is sine over cos. So 5 sine x over cos x minus 7 sine x equals to 0. Okay, so sine is common factor. We can move out. You can factorize. So sine x is 5 over cos x minus 7. Okay, so this one, for this one, sine x equals to 0. Okay, for this one, 5 over cos x minus 7 equals to 0. 5 over cos x equals to 7. Cos x equals to 5 over 7. Okay, we try to find out one by one. Okay, for this special angle, sine x equals to 0. We need to use graph of sine. Okay, this is graph of sine. This is 2 pi or 360. This 1 pi. Pi is 180. So sine 0 is here, here and here. Okay, meaning that x equals to 0 degree, 180 degree, 360 degree. Okay, so cos positive. Add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Cos positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. So x equals to shift cos, inverse cos 5 over 7, which is equals to 44.42 degree. Okay, this is angles in quadrant 1. To find angles in quadrant 4 is 360 minus theta. Okay, corresponding acute angle. So 360 minus 44.42 is 315.58. Okay, so finally we conclude. So x equals to 0 degree, 44.42 degree, 180 degree, 315.58 degree and 360 degree. Question E. Sine squared x minus 2 sine x equals to cos 2x. Okay, to solve trigonometric equation, you must make it the equation uniform. Okay, in this situation, we got sine, and cos. So then we have to substitute cos in terms of x to make it, in terms of sine to make it uniform. Okay, in this situation, we got cos 2a, double angle formula for cos. So we can substitute equals to 1 minus 2 sine squared a. Okay, in this situation, cos 2x is 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Okay, so then we make it equal to 0. So we simplify. So this one is sine squared x minus 2 sine x minus 1 plus 2 sine squared x equals to 0. So sine squared plus 2 sine squared is 3 sine squared x minus 2 sine x minus 1 equals to 0. Okay, so this you can factorize. Okay, so this one become 3 sine x, this one sine x, 1, 1. So this one plus 1 minus 1. Okay, so then sine x equals to negative 1 over 3. And another one, sine x equals to 1. Okay, so add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, 2, 3 and 4. Sign negative in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So to find basic angles, shift sign 1 over 3, which is equals to 19.47. Okay, just now we identify this angle in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. Okay, so then corresponding angle in quadrant 3 is 180 minus theta. In quadrant 4, 180 plus theta. In quadrant 4, 360 minus theta. Okay, so then we find in quadrant 3, 180 plus 19.47, 199.47. Okay, and in quadrant 4, 360 minus 19.47. Okay, which is equals to 340.53. Okay, so done. So for this sine x equals to 1, you can use calculator, or otherwise you can sketch the graph of sine. Okay, graph of sine is like this. Okay, this one 2 pi, this one pi. Okay, 2 pi 360, pi 180. Okay, maximum 1, minimum negative 1. Okay, so sine 1. Okay, so meaning that the maximum, which is angles at 90 degree, or pi over 2. So x equals to 90. Okay, then we conclude. So therefore x equals to 90 degree, 199.47 and 340.53 degree. Okay, question F. Sine x plus 30 equals to cos x plus 120. Okay, so this one, by using addition formula for sine and cos, we expand. Sine x plus 30 is sine x cos 30 plus cos x sine 30. Okay, equals to cos x plus 120 is cos x cos 120 minus sine x sine 120. Okay, cos 30 is a special angle. Cos 30 sec 3 over 2. So sec 3 over 2 sine x. Sine 30 special angle 1 over 2. 1 over 2 cos x. Okay, cos 120 actually cos in quadrant 2. So equals to negative cos 60. 180 minus 120, negative cos 60. So this one cos negative 60 is 1 over 2. Okay, so this one cos x. Okay, cos negative 1 over 2. Okay, so then sine 120 is sec 3 over 2. Okay, sec 3 over 2 sine x. Okay, so then we group together sin and sine, cos and cos. So sec 3 over 2 sine x plus sec 3 over 2 sine x. Okay, for this one and this one. Okay, so for cos, negative 1 over 2 cos x minus 1 over 2 cos x. Okay, for this one and this one. Okay, so sec 3 over 2 plus sec 3 over 2 is sec 3. Okay, so this one is sec 3. Sine x. Negative 1 over 2 minus 1 over 2. So negative 1. So negative cos x. Okay, so we know that relation between sine and cos is tangent. So sine x over cos x equals to negative 1 over sec 3. Okay, so then tangent x equals to negative 1 over sec 3. So then tangent negative. Okay, so add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4. Tangent negative in quadrant 2 and 4. Okay, so to find basic angle, okay, shift tangent 1 over sec 3. Okay, which is equals to 30. Okay, so x equals to 30. Okay, just now we know the angle in quadrant 2 and quadrant 4. So in quadrant 2, x equals to 100. Quadrant 2, okay, quadrant 2, 180 minus 30. So 150. In quadrant 4, 360 minus 30. So 330 degree. So these are the values of x that satisfy the equation. Okay, question G. 7 sine x plus 3 cos 2x equals to 0. Okay, first of all, you have to make it uniform. So now we have single angle and double angle. It's not uniform. And then sine and cos is not uniform as well. Okay, so you have to make it uniform first. So now you can use by using double angle formula. Okay, so cos 2a equals to, all in terms of sine, we choose the last one. So we substitute. Okay, so 7 sine x plus 3 cos 2x is 1 minus 2 sine squared x equals to 0. So 7 sine x plus 3 minus 6 sine squared x equals to 0. Okay, so I prefer make it positive. So 6 sine squared x minus 7 sine x minus 3 equals to 0. Okay, so this we can factorize. Okay, so factorize this. Okay, this one become 2 sine x and 3 sine x. So negative 3 is negative 3 plus 1. Okay, so then x, sine x equals to 3 over 2. And sine x equals to negative 1 over 3. Okay, so for the first one, okay, sine 3 over 2. Okay, 3 over 2 is more than 1. Okay, we know that sine, the graph is like this. The maximum is 1, the minimum is negative 1. So now we got 3.2 is 1.5. So out of range. So meaning that this one is not accepted. Okay, so now undefined. Okay, so for this one, for sine x equals to negative 1 over 3, we can solve. Okay, add sugar to coffee. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Sine negative in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So x equals to shift sine 1 over 3, which is equals to 19.47. Okay, so in quadrant 3, just now we identify in quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So quadrant 3, 180 plus theta, which is 199.47. In quadrant 4, 360 minus 19.47, which is 340.53 degree. So these are the solution of this question. Okay, H sine x equals to 3 sine 2x. Okay, so looks like uniform sine and sine, but the angle is not uniform. This one single angle, this one double angle. So therefore you have to make it uniform. You substitute sine 2x equals to 2 sine x cos x. Okay, so this one is sine x equals to 3 2 sine x cos x. Okay, so this one is sine x equals to 6 sine x cos x. So then we simplify sine x minus 6 Sin x cos x equals to 0. Okay, the common factor is sin x. So we factorize, we move out. So 1 minus 6 cos x equals to 0. Okay, so then we solve sin x equals to 0. And another one, 1 minus 6 cos x equals to 0. So cos x equals to 1 over 6. Okay, this one x. Okay. Okay, so sin x equals to 0 by using the graph of sine 0. This one, 2 pi and pi, maximum 1, minimum negative 1. So 0 right here, here and here. So meaning that the angles x is 0 degree, 180 degree and 360 degree. Okay, so for cos positive, add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4, cos positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. Okay, so to find the basic angle, inverse cos 1 over 6, okay, which is equals to 80.41 degree. Okay, this one in quadrant 1, to find a corresponding angle in quadrant 4 is 360 minus 80.40. Okay, which is equals to 279.59. Okay, so therefore we conclude x is, we rearrange, so 0, 80.41, 180, 279.59, and 360. Question I. Cos x minus 60 equals to 3 cos x plus 60. Okay, by using addition formula for cos, we expand. So this one is cos x cos 60 plus sin x sin 60 equals to 3 cos x cos 60 minus cos x sin x sin 60, sin x sin 60. Okay, so we substitute the value of special angle. Okay, cos 60 is 1 over 2. This one, cos 60 is 1 over 2. Sin 60 is 3 over 2. So this one, 1 over 2 cos x plus 3 over 2 sin x equals to 3 cos 61 over 2 cos x minus sin 60 3 over 2 sin x. Okay, so then we open the bracket. This one is 1 over 2 cos x plus 3 over 2 sin x equals to 3 over 2 cos x minus 3 over 2 sin x. Okay, so we group together sine with sine and cos with cos. Okay, so 3 over 2 sin x plus 3 over 2 sin x equals to 3 over 2 cos x minus 1 over 2 cos x. Okay, so 3 over 2 plus 3 over 2 is 4 over 2 so 3. So 2 sec 3. Okay, 2 sec 3 sin x equals to 3 over 2 cos x minus 1 over 2 cos x is 1 cos x. Okay, so cos x. Okay, so we know that sine over cos is tangent. Okay, relation sine and cos is tangent. So sine x over cos x equals to 1 over 2 sec 3. Okay, so this one tangent x equals to 1 over 2 sec 3. Positive. Okay, positive. Add sugar to coffee 1, 2, 3 and 4. Tangent positive 1 and 3. Okay, to find the equivalent angle, the basic angle. So x equals to shift tangent 1 over 2 sec 3, which is equals to 16.1. 1, 0. Okay, this one in quadrant 1 to find corresponding angle in quadrant 3, 180 plus 16.10, which is 196.10. Okay, so these are the solutions. Question number 2, find all the angles between 0 and 2 pi that satisfy the following equations. Okay, so A, sine 2x plus pi over 6 equals to negative 3 over 2. Okay, so add sugar to coffee, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sign negative in quadrant 3 and 4. Okay, so to find 2x plus pi over 6, so inverse sign 3 over 2, which is equals to 60. Okay, in quadrant 3, 2x plus pi over 6, 180 plus 60, 240. In quadrant 4, 360 minus 60 is 300. Okay, but then this one 2x, so 2 cycles. So then 360, we have another cycles plus 240 and 360 plus 300. Okay, so this one is 240, 300, 600 and 660. Okay, so pi over 6 is 180 over 6, which is 30. Okay, so this one 2x plus 30 equals to this value. So to find 2x, each we minus 30. Okay, become 210, 270, 570 and 630. Divide by 2 is 105, 135, 285 and 315. Okay, all these answer in degree. Okay, if you want to give your answer in radian, so you can times pi over 180 for each value, which is equals to 7 over 12 pi, 3 over 4 pi, 19 over 12 pi, and 7 over 4 pi. Question B. 3 sine y equals to 2 tangent y. Okay, tangent is sine over cos, so 3 sine y equals to 2 sine y over cos y. Then we simplify 3 sine y minus 2 sine y over cos y equals to 0. Then this is common factor. We can factorize sine y in the bracket 3 minus 2 over cos y equals to 0. So then for this one, sine y equals to 0. And this one we got 3 minus 2 over cos y equals to 0. 3 equals to 2 over cos y. And cos y equals to 2 over 3. Okay. So then we solve one by one. Okay, sine y equals to 0 from the graph. Okay. So 2 pi, this one 1, this one negative 1. Okay, sine 0 is right here, here and here. So y equals to 0, pi and 2 pi. Okay, so cos y 2 over 3. Okay, so then cos positive. Okay, add sugar to coffee, 1, 2, 3 and 4, quadrant 1 and quadrant 4. So y equals to shift cos, inverse cos, 2 over 3. Okay, which is 48.19. Okay, so this one is 48.19. Then in quadrant 1, in quadrant 4, 360 minus 48.19, which is 311.81. Okay, so then we conclude. So y equals to 0, 48 degree point. Oh, this one we can convert into in terms of pi. Okay, in terms of pi. So this one times pi over 180. Okay, so yeah, we will get 0.2677 pi and 1.732 pi. Okay, so then we conclude this value. So y equals to 0.2677 pi, pi, 1.732 pi, and 2 pi. Question 2c, we got 3 cotangent squared z minus 5 cosecant z plus 1 equals to 0. Okay, one is not uniform, cotangent and cosecant. We have relation cosecant and cotangent from the basic identity. Okay, cotangent squared is cosecant squared minus 1. Okay, so we substitute cotangent squared is cosecant squared z minus 1 minus 5 cosecant z plus 1 equals to 0. Then we expand 3 cosecant squared z minus 3 minus 5 cosecant z plus 1 equals to 0. Okay, so this one 3 cosecant squared z minus 5 cosecant z, negative 3 plus 1 is negative 2 equals to 0. Okay, so then we substitute 3 cosecant z, this one cosecant z, this one is minus 2, okay, so minus 2 plus 1. Okay, so then 3 cosecant z plus 1 equals to 0, cosecant z equals negative 1 over 3. Okay, cosecant is 1 over sine, z equals to negative 1 over 3. So we got sine z equals to negative 3. Okay, another one here, we got cosecant z equals to 2. Then cosecant is 1 over sine z equals to 2. Then sine z equals to 1 over 2. For the first one, sin z equals to negative 3. Okay, so to solve this one, from graph, okay, graph of sine like this. This one 2 pi, pi maximum 1, minimum negative 1. Okay, so the maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is negative 1. So here we got negative 3, so out of range. So for this situation, z undefined. Okay, and another one here we got sin z equals to 1 over 2. We can solve. Okay, add sugar to coffee. Add sugar to coffee. Quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, sign positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. Okay, to find z is sine inverse 1 over 2, which is equals to 30. 30 in quadrant 1. Okay, in quadrant 2, 180 minus 30, which is equals to 150. Okay, if you want to convert this in terms of pi, so all this we times pi over 180, which is equals to pi over 6 and 5 pi over 6. D sine 2a minus cos 2a equals to 0. So sine 2a equals to cos 2a. So we know that relation between sine and cos is tangent. So sine 2a over cos 2a equals to 1. Okay, sine over cos is tangent to a equals to 1. So we can find the values of angles 2a. Okay, so this one, add sugar to coffee, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so tangent positive in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. Okay, so 2a equals to shift tangent 1. Okay, so then equals to 45 degree. Okay, in quadrant 1, in quadrant 3, 180 plus 45, which is 225. Okay, so this one 2a. Okay, meaning that 2 cycles. Okay, so 360 plus 45 and 360 plus 2 to 5. Okay, so this one is 45, 2 to 5, 400 5 and 585. These are the values of angles to A. Okay, to find angles of A, so all divided by 2, which is 22.5, 112.5, 202.5, and 292.5. Okay, and as usual, if you want to convert this into radians, so times pi over 180, okay, which is equals to pi over 8, okay, 5 pi over 8, this one 9 pi over 8, and 13 pi over 8. E, cos B sin B equals to 1 over 4. Okay, cos B sin B, if you refer the list of formula, so it looks like formula of double angle formula for sine. Okay, so but this one we got 2. Okay, meaning that so you have to times 2 this one and both side to make it balance times 2. Okay, so all this thing is equals to sine 2b. Okay, equals to 1 over 2. So sine is in quadrant. Sign positive, okay, add sugar to coffee in quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So positive quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So 2b equals to shift sine 1 over 2. Okay, which is equals to 30. In quadrant 1, okay, in quadrant 2, 180 minus 30, which is 150. Okay, for the second cycles, this one sine 2b, so we have 2 cycles, so 360 plus 30 and 360 plus 150. Okay, which is equals to 30, 150, 390, and 510. Okay, so these are the values of angles to B. So to find angles B, we need to divide all by 2. Okay, this one 15, 75, 195, and 225. Okay, so all times pi over 180, which is equals to pi over 12, 5 pi over 12, 13 pi over 12, and 17 pi over 12. Question F. Okay, so we got 4 sine x minus pi cos x minus pi equals to 1. Okay, so the angles here is x minus pi, x minus pi. Okay, so we can use the formula of double angle of sine. Okay, but for sine, we got here 2. But this one we got 4. So we can divide by 2 for both sides. Okay, so here is 2 sine x minus pi cos x minus pi equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so this one equals to sine 2x minus pi equals to 1 over 2. Okay, so then this one, add sugar to coffee, quadrant 1, 2, 3, and 4. So sine positive quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. So here 2x minus 2 pi equals to shift sine. Okay, shift sine 1 over 2, which is equals to 30. 30 in quadrant 1, in quadrant 2, 180 minus 30, which is 150. Okay, here we got 2 cycles. Okay, so 360 plus 30 and 360 plus 150. Okay, which is equals to 30, 150, 360, and 510. Okay, so to get 2x, so all divided by 2 pi. Plus 2 pi. Okay, so 2 pi is 360. Okay, so this one 2x equals to 30 plus 360, which is 360. 90. 150 plus 360, 510. 390 plus 360, 750. And 360 plus 510 equals to 870. Okay, this is angles of 2x, all divided by 2. So we will get x equals to 195, 255, 375, and 435. Okay, so then from the question, x between 0 and 2 pi. Okay, so this one is out of range. Okay, so then to convert into radians, so all times pi over 180. So this one you will get equals to 13 over 12 pi and 17 over 12 pi. Okay, so this one 13 over 12 pi. Okay, so this is the answer.